Hey there, you're listening to Not Another TV Podcast, a podcast about television. This is episode 3 of the week of January 28th, 2023. My name's Drew Koenig. With me, as always, my co-host, Logan Dalton. Logan, how we doing?
I'm doing great. Saga came back this week, so
Oh, did it?
always a good week. Yeah.
I thought Saga ended.
Oh no. Um, it's gonna go for I think they said 108 issues, so
Oh, okay.
lots more story to be told. So yeah, but yeah, they had a 6 month hiatus and it came back,
Okay.
which is wild because like the last time they had a hiatus, it lasted for years. So
Right.
it was kind of cool. It's like one of those situations like, is it really gonna be like 6 months? But yeah, it was. I mean,
Yeah. I just assumed that, indie comics I used to follow just had all ended, like Lumberjanes and Giant Days had all ended.
yeah. No, Saga's still going on somehow. Like.
I have to finish that. I have to keep reading that one day.
Yeah. They have really the big compendium that has like the first 54 issues, like probably like a local library would have it.
Right.
It's like be great to binge through.
Yeah. No, they're accessible. Like, I still haven't finished Giant Days. Like,
Oh man.
I have to. Yeah, I haven't finished Giant Days. I never finished Lumberjanes. Like, I still have to, like.
Yeah, I definitely did finish Lumberjanes, but
I really
like
like
Giant
Lumberjanes. I just never got.
they did change artists a lot. So
Did they? Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, Giant Day, and then John Allison is doing. I think he has a new book coming out this spring that's like a riff on Great British Bake Off, but like murder.
Oh, okay.
I'm like
Okay.
gonna
Yep.
I'm gonna like hype it up, probably review it.
Yeah,
Uh,
that sounds
but,
good. Yep.
but yeah, he's amazing. Like he's amazing. Oh my god.
That sounds like in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, and it's the same artist from Giant Days, Max Saren. So it's like a little
Nice.
reunion.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, Giant Days is so good. I think I had the one of the big hardcovers, but I like lost it on a plane. I'm like
Oh.
still angry to this day.
Oh.
Yeah, it was kind of sad, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So I would talk about a couple things for news real quick. And it's not so much news as so much as a weird thing over the week of, like, shows or, like, creators doing things to actively hate their fans. The Teen Wolf the movie, or the latest episode of Law and Order SVU, which I saw. I'd like to note I did not watch either of these, but I've just been listening to other people talk about it. Like SVU putting out a promo that shows, like, Benson and Stabler finally, like, kissing after, like, years of buildup of a ship, and then, like, apparently re-editing that scene
Oh my
so that they
God.
do not
Yikes.
kiss in this episode.
Wow.
Because, like, and then like Teen Wolf the movie apparently just, like, shitting on all of its fans, and, like, doing things that, like, no one wanted. Again, did not watch it. Don't go here. But, like, it's this thing where, like, anytime a creator says, like, I know better, they very rarely do. You know? Like, there's a
Better than the
difference
fans.
between, like, adhering to your fans and, like, actively going against them, uh, and showing, like, open resentment to them. You know? Because, like, I remember, like, I come from this after having watched, like, The 100. And, like, after a while, it became very clear that, like, that show clearly detested their fans. You know? Like, it wasn't even a thing of, like, not listening to their fans. They hated their fans, you know? And so, like, to continuously, like, see that happen in, like, other shows and other fandoms, like, it's a weird, like, it's just weird, you know? You, I don't know. Like, what do
I
you think?
mean, I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like I'm a creator. Like I don't know. Like I wouldn't want to be like I don't know. I wouldn't want to be like to have to force to pander to like annoying people on the internet.
Like,
But
there's a difference between pandering and, like, actively going against, like, your fan base, you know?
Yeah, I mean, bad storytelling is bad storytelling.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but like, I feel like I don't know, like this whole like parasocial fan creator relationship. Just I don't know. The older I get, the more just like disturbing. It's like how entitled people are to like creators, like time and work and everything. And I'm just like, I don't know. Just make like good crazy stuff, and if I like it, I like it. If not, whatever. Like I don't have to watch it or read it or listen to it. Yeah.
Right. But I feel like it's slightly different with like television because you spend like there's such like a time component to it. Like you
Yeah.
put so much time into watching TV, and like if you're in a like somewhat active fandom, like you're putting actual time into this and you're like hyping it up and you're talking about it with other people and like you're doing like you know extraneous
Yeah.
stuff like making fan fiction or doing fan art or what have you, and then like that same energy is not being directed back towards you or like towards uh people like you.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I felt about Game of Thrones. I'm like, shit, I invested so much time into this goddamn show, reading these goddamn books, even back in the day, even buying some goddamn merch,
Yeah.
and this is what I'm stuck with. I could have, you know, could have read, I could have watched so many other things. I could have read, other fantasy books, and what a waste! Like, what a fucking waste!
This is all just to say that like yes, the fan creator relationship can get like extremely sticky at times, and there's perhaps too much overlap there. But
Yeah, I mean, the social media.
yeah, but I feel like if you're doing things just because like oh fuck the fans or like this will get the fans, or like I I actively don't want to give them the thing they want. Like that puts you in a like at the very least unethical position as a writer.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't know, like ethic. I mean, write whatever the hell you want,
Right.
like. But yeah, I mean, I feel like with the SCU, it's like it's a show that's been around forever, and they're just trying to like, I don't know, like make sure they don't lose whatever remaining audience they have. Trying to spice it up.
Right. But at a certain
Like,
point, it's just baiting.
yeah, I mean, because I'm like, I feel like that's all they're stuck with. They're like, that's what they're stuck with,
Yeah.
and that's why shows should end at, shows should actually end and not like, God, I think I saw The Simpsons is renewed till 2025 and is going to pass 800 episodes. I'm just like,
Yeah.
why? Like, other than make money, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I do feel I do feel like there's a special case with SVU because like people specifically tuned in to watch this episode knowing that like this ship that's been in the works for like 20 years, would actually be fulfilled. And then just like the maniacal just like rug being pulled out of their legs. I don't know. I feel like it's shitty. So news was announced yesterday that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is making a Tomb Raider series.
Oh hell yeah!
Is writing a Tomb Raider series.
Oh hell yeah! I love it. I hope it actually gets made.
Yeah, they wanted to stress that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is not playing Lara Croft, but just writing Lara Croft, which is apparently an important distinction. We still don't know who is playing the titular Tomb Raider. But apparently this is a plan to do a multimedia TV movie video game that is interconnected.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and I feel like that's interesting. Because like this is the thing that like we used to talk about before like the MCU started getting underway, of like this kind of transmedia property.
Yeah, transmedia.
Of doing like people used to talk about this with like the Dark Tower. Make a movie, then like do a little like TV show then like make another movie, and like that could kind of be like a formula. And we never really cracked that because like even now with like Marvel stuff, it's like watching a bunch of this stuff as like a kind of prior as a like almost like homework is a lot to ask of like a viewer. So like we haven't really figured out how to do that yet. But
Yeah.
if Tomb
I mean,
Raider
I feel like a more yeah.
if Tomb Raider can figure that out, I think it would be really special.
Yeah. Well, I think the MCU has just become like the comics pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like they're set in the same universe, but like I don't know, I feel like you can pick and choose the corners you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially after Endgame, I like kind of just lost interest in like the big Earth story or whatever, like the big overarching, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll see Ryan Coogler's thing, I'll see Taika Waititi's thing. Oops, She-Hulk looks fun, like, but I'm not like really like the King. Like I could care less about like the King shit. Like
Right.
I don't know. Like it's wild that he's gonna become a household name though. Like this little time traveling like guy, like purple guy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's cool. Like connecting the video games and the shows, and I mean, it's just probably some novels and comics in there too.
Yeah, probably. So it sounds like there's going to be a whole new slate of Tomb Raider stuff coming out. And anyone that played like the Tomb Raider games from like the first one was in 2013. Or the reboot was in 2013.
That was a good game. Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah, isn't that what I didn't see it. The Alicia Vikander movie was based on.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it, but I'm like
based on the unrelated.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if I trust anyone to be able to do this, it's Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yeah, I know, she's like perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like Indiana Jones 5 was like her like training camp, or I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So Amazon must have seen something from Indiana Jones 5 at this point and been like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, I think she yeah.
Yeah. Almost the bigger question is like who they get to play Lara Croft at this point, because like that's like 2/3 of like what you need to get there, you know. Because Vikander was good as Lara Croft, I thought. Like she had like the good physicality for it. And like,
yeah, she got like super ripped.
Yeah. And Angelina Jolie is just like that's a high bar. That's a high bar to leap. Because movies withstanding, like she was very good in that role.
And that hit right at like the peak of her fame too. Like,
yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see like who they actually get for this, and in what direction they decide to go in. So let's move on to the GOAT. So the GOAT is a weekly segment that me and Logan do where we nominate a best TV episode or character and pit them against each other in a poll on Twitter and TikTok. Last week I nominated Lost Season 3 Episode 10, Trisha Tanaka is Dead, and Logan nominated Bar Rescue Season 2 Episode 1, Yo Ho Ho and a Bottle of Dumb. Bar Rescue won last week.
Okay. Yeah.
To my shame.
How did it do on TikTok?
It did fine on TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah. It was all right.
Yeah, it's a popular show. Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So with that, you can submit the first one.
So yeah, so this week, one of the shows we're discussing is an anime. So I'm thinking, I was thinking like I'm gonna go with another anime episode. Well, I went with the character last time. I'm gonna go with an episode this time. And so my GOAT this week is Cowboy Bebop Session Number 5, Ballad of Fallen Angels. And if you don't know, Cowboy Bebop is basically like a better Firefly. Like I tell people to watch it instead of Firefly these days. It's about this bounty hunter named Spike and his like motley crew going across, different planets and doing jobs. There's a corgi, There's mystery. There's intrigue. Great soundtrack. Uh, Great kind of sci-fi western um, kind of genre mashups. And episode 5 is Ballad of the Fallen Angels. It's like a bit because like Cowboy Bebop, it has a lot of like case of the week episodes, but like the lore episodes are really just powerful. And this is the first episode that kind of reveals Spike's backstory and how he was based. He was like part of organized crime with this like katana wielding bird on the shoulder rocking, like just total like sociopath named Vicious, like fittingly named Vicious. So we see Vicious is back in the game, and he's gonna track him down and kill him. And of course he gets away in the end, but we get to see like why he's like so angry, and we get to like see his past with his wife Julia. And but like the main reason I love this episode, and the reason why I'm submitting it to the GOAT committee, is the visuals. This whole episode, especially the big fight scene and the flashbacks, is an homage to the works of John Woo. Um, really, before homaging John Woo became passe. Like you get this beautiful music, slow mo, church like slow mo gunfights, church music. Like I think there's some Mozart in this shit. And this is just like a visually beautiful episode, and just very very sad, very tragic. Um, I mean, it ends with a joke, like keep the mood light. But this is it's a really heavy, very operatic episode of Cowboy Bebop, and it really kind of heightens the show, and you're like, fuck, this is like one of the best animes like ever. So, but yeah, like honestly, like the flashback sequence alone, like the slow mo when he's falling from the church, is just I think about it all the time. um, and Stephen Bloom does the English dub voice of Spike, and usually he's just doing the Stephen Bloom, the gruff one liners, but in this he like finds that like extra level of pain, and oh man, it's so good. So yeah, that's my GOAT for this week.
Nice. And so in honor of, I can't believe I'm gonna do this.
All right.
In honor of Teen Wolf the movie this week, I wanted to figure out something because like, Teen Wolf has a couple good episodes, but I sided against that. And instead I went with a character, which is Stiles Stilinski, played by Dylan O'Brien from Teen Wolf. And Stiles was perhaps a very personification of the comic relief sidekick character. The support played very wonderfully, very with a lot of fun by O'Brien, and was a very much a stabilizing factor, and had good chemistry with basically every character he was with. And the most interesting thing about his character is in season 3, when he goes from being the great lighthearted sidekick to being the villain. And a really wonderful twist where he is possessed by an evil Japanese spirit. And Dylan O'Brien makes that switch from the like fun kind of puppy character to an actual force of menace, in a way that like I don't think a lot of actors would be capable of doing or do as effectively. And Stiles is just like this very um, kind of uplifting, supportive, very much an ancillary character, but one that like made the show in a lot of instances. And yeah. And like it goes to show from watching this, like just how people could think like, yeah, this kid could be like an actual like movie star, where like he went on to try to do like the Maze Runner and
Nowadays, he just kicks it with Jesus and Mara, or they, with Jesus Nice.
yeah, and Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah,
There's recently appearing in Taylor Swift's what was it, 13-minute music video for
oh man.
and he's just
Sadly missed that.
But he is consistently great in Teen Wolf, and easily one of the bright spots of that show. So yeah, I'm gonna make that one short. Stiles is my pick for this week.
Nice. All right. Cowboy Bebop versus Teen Wolf. Oh man. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So these polls will be up on Twitter and TikTok, and you'll have 2 days to vote on them after they go live. And be sure to retweet and share them to whoever you feel like these interests apply.
Come on, Bebop Hive.
Yeah. Be sure to also listen to our episodes on Apple, Google, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. And subscribe and like us there, and share our page to whoever you think is interested. And send in any more listener questions and GOAT submissions to our Twitter and TikTok at NotAnotherTVPod, or at our email at notanotherTVPodcast@gmail.com. And without further ado, we will get into the main part of our episode. So our first episode here this week is Poker Face, now streaming on Peacock, and the first 4 episodes have gone out. I haven't watched this yet, but Logan, you have.
Yeah. I'll just do a quick little. I'll try to keep it spoiler free, kind of rundown of it. So no, Poker Face. The first episode's written and directed by Ryan Johnson. It's very clever, non-linear narrative. Natasha Lyonne, I mean, I don't have to hype her up to you, man. Like like she's just oozing of charisma, and especially when she gets some coffee in her, like just so much personality. And Adrian Brody's is great in it. He's a great little nepo baby in this episode. Benjamin Bratt has some good like physical menace. Dasha Polanco's in it as well. So yeah, it's like really, really talented cast. Just very, very clever. Has a good like moral heart as well. But yeah, no, it's a really entertaining ride. This pilot episode is pretty much like a mini movie, but it also kind of sets up the case of the week stuff. And yeah, I don't really want to go into it as much because but it's very entertaining, and I'm excited to watch the other 3 episodes when I have a chance. So
Nice.
yeah, it's Poker Face. Definitely deserves the 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
This definitely feels like a show that was born out of Natasha Lyonne should be Columbo,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh,
Ryan
for
Johnson was just like, I can make that. I can just
oh
make
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh, dude, nailed it. Yeah, yeah. No, and I love like it just does such a good job with little details and locations. Like oh man, Natasha, you gotta see where Natasha Leone is like staying. It's just like so on brand, and it's I don't know, like and yeah, and just like the attention to detail is insane. Like just a random movie that like Natasha Leone and Dasha Polanco's character like I don't know ends up setting up the whole show like just a random movie in the background. I don't know. I can't wait to watch the other 3 episodes and talk about them next week. Like
Yeah.
this has potential to be an obsession, and it's randomly on Peacock. Like like after 1 episode, I'm like, shit, this is like the best Peacock show. Like, so yeah, it's Poker Face.
Nice, nice. Well, to switch things over a little bit, quite a bit actually. We have the Owl House, season 3, episode 2, For the Future, which aired on Disney. I can't remember if it's Disney XD or Disney at this point. I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I'm like it doesn't. I mean, I don't even know Disney XD was still a thing.
I I
I
can't.
remember watching like Ultimate Spider-Man on that.
I
In
genuinely
old,
cannot remember.
that's funny.
I I record this on my DVR and I can't remember which channel it airs on. But anyway, so this is the penultimate episode of the Owl House. The second in its truncated 3-episode final season.
God, 3 episodes for a season. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. And you can definitely see here how like this could have been part of like a larger season. And it is like the it somewhat suffers from like just being the middle part of a 3-part act. So like it's just like kind of getting into things, showing like the state of the demon realm after Amity and Luz and all of them left the human realm and came back, and just kind of showing the status quo as it is now. And it's a perfectly good episode, but it is just like oh wow, we're almost at the end kind of thing. It's like, oh, we're almost done here, and kind of like setting up the end game, as it were. So yeah, there's a lot to love. You really just can't help but feel like wanting this to have all been part of like a larger season, and like letting a lot of this other stuff get fleshed out. But still very good. I'm eager to watch the final episode whenever it comes out. I think rumored around April or so. Which will no doubt be devastating, and I will lose my mind. So to move us along, and
Yeah, I can't believe like 3 episode finale. Like
yeah, well, like they're kind of supersized 45-minute episodes, but yeah, it's still nowhere near enough. Not nearly enough. So to keep us on the animation track, we have Junji Ito Maniac, which Logan you watched this week.
yeah. So Junji Ito, he's like one of the greatest, just one of the greatest manga artists of all time. But he has like really fucked up like horror manga. Like his big one is Uzumaki, like people seeing spirals everywhere. Another one is Tomie, like this creepy girl with a birthmark that makes men like fall in love with him, fall in love with her. So he's really big. He's like really popular. Like his stuff is getting reprinted like crazy in the U.S. now. Um, so yeah, they dropped a anime adaptation of a lot of his short stories on Netflix, and I watched the first two episodes. And the first episode is like more horror comedy. It's about this really messed up, creepy family who tries to have a séance to like talk to their parents, but it's really a huge fraud. Like the ectoplasm is like wheat germ and stuff. Like this is one that like I actually did read, like actually dropped in a short story collection last year, and I feel like the comedic aspect gets out a lot better in the manga than in the anime. Like honestly, I don't. This wasn't that good of an episode at all. Like it was more like it was good on the creepiness, but not like the comedy part. But then the second episode was like really improved. They like did two short stories, and the one that creeped me out the most was called Ice Cream Truck, and it's like pretty simple setup. Like these kids go to an ice cream truck, get ice cream, then disappear for like the Saturday and come back, like seemingly normal. So like this new kid's in town, he wants to join the fun, and like the art style for the ice cream guy is just so like he's like this beautiful guy, but like really bleached skin. You're just like something's up with that guy, and then just like the reveal at the end of like the kid like licking like the ice cream versions of his friends is just like so like fucked up. Like, whew, very unsettling. Like, put me off ice cream for a week. Like, and it's good. Yeah, and it's only like a 7 minute like short story, like short like thing, and I'm just like, holy shit. Like, yeah, that's like one thing I like about Junji Ito. He turns like the most normal shit into like horrifying. He's like a very like I like to say he's like he's like an unproblematic HP Lovecraft. Because like he like it doesn't like bleed into like the his like visions of the macabre don't like bleed into his personal life. Like
Right.
you know he's just like a hardworking cartoonist who loves cats. Um, Actually, he did an entire manga series just about his cats. That's like real called a cat Yanamu Cat Diary. Like I recommend to everyone. Like it's just so adorable. So yeah, yeah, definitely. Like I feel like it definitely his work definitely works better on the page than on the screen. But I definitely want to check out a few more of the episodes, especially like the Tomie episode, which they save for the finale. But yeah, no, it's like a solid anthology. Not the best, but yeah, I mean it's like, but like if you're like into like disturbing imagery and like I don't know, just fucked up shit, like definitely worth checking out.
Nice, nice. Oh. So I did do this on purpose, but I realized while I was looking at her rundown that I just have like I just have like a row of animated shows that we talk about here.
Yeah, no, like yeah,
I just want everyone listening to know I didn't do that on purpose. It's not a conscious thing I did. It just happened.
yeah. Well, we like 4 animated shows out of the 7. Wow.
We got 5 animated shows out of 7. Oh no, 4.
Wait,
I can't count.
yeah.
Gay people.
Oh, I'm like last.
Gay people can't
Oh.
count.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you got me for a second. I'm like, Last of Us. That's a video game. Then I'm like, oh, it's a fucking live action show that I literally watched 2 nights ago. Like, what the heck, dude? You almost had me. Oh my gosh.
So our next show here is Legend of Vox Machina, Season 2, Episode 4, Those Who Walk Away. And I don't want to get into this too deep, but this deals with the aftermath of the last episode after a major character death, and then resurrection with a pretty hefty price tag to it, which is the way to do, like, the way to reverse the character death. Because I remember, like, the big complaint that people had with, like, Arrowverse shows was, like, people will die and then just come back with, like, zero consequence, you know? Like,
That's comics.
yeah, like, Sarah Lance would die and then just, like, come back, and it's like, oh, it's not a big deal after a while. Here, it's like, no, there's, like, an actual You're gonna have to pay for that shit. You're gonna have to pay for that right now.
Yeah.
And so like there's an excellent monster fight with a big you mentioned Lovecraft a second ago, but like it's very like a very like horrifying Lovecraft monster with tentacles and
Oh, I was gonna say tentacles. Yes.
that petrifies people when it attacks them, and yeah, it's
That's cool.
deeply unsettling monster, but had some great animation and fights to it. And so just to quickly move on to our next episode, I have Star Wars: The Bad Batch, Season 2, Episode 5, entitled Entombed. And this might be the last time I talk about Bad Batch for a while, and probably Vox Machina for a while. But yeah, this is just another totally fine episode of The Bad Batch that I don't like. I don't mind too much one way or another. The Bad Batch gets a treasure map to seek out like this legendary like bounty that like every pirate everywhere wants to find, and on this abandoned planet, and you know there's booby traps and puzzles and whatnot, and it's all ends up with basically a key to a giant kaiju mechanical monstrosity. And the only real problem that I have with this episode is, spoiler for this, they completely wreck this fucking super weapon. And then they just leave it there. Which to me feels like you could have done something with that. You could have like maybe destroyed it more, because like if the Empire ever found that thing, like they would have a massive super weapon. You know? Like this is a thing that like wrecked the landscape around it, and like did like a whammy, almost like destroyed their vessel. It's like you're just gonna leave that there. Like I understand there's only so much you can do with like a wrecked thing, but like the Empire could like reverse engineer that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Also, how many planet-destroying super weapons does the Empire have lying around? Like, I feel like there's a new one every Star Wars spinoff.
Yeah. Well,
like,
and
I don't know.
this gets into like the kind of like ancient society before like the Republic, or like even like High Republic, like pre-Jedi.
That's so cool. Oh wow.
And it's like, don't worry about it. Yeah, they were here. Don't fucking worry about it, man. Just like, okay, fine, whatever. It's, you do you, Star Wars, I guess.
Yeah.
Save that for a book series one day, I guess. So to take us out of animation,
Oh god.
we have Mayfair Witches, Season 1, Episode 3, The Dark Place. And I missed this one this week, so tell me about The Dark Place.
Shoot. I gotta remember this guy. I always forget this guy's name. Just give me a second. Okay, so basically, so the end of episode 2, Rowan sees her mother, die right in front of her in an elevator, and she's just like in total shock, and she holds up with this Cyprian guy who, and so this episode, like, I feel like his holds up in his safe house. It keeps trying to like add, kind of fill in the gaps of the first 2 episodes, and kind of builds like the different factions and relationships. So yeah, Cyprian basically, anything he touches, he can like get like a read on, or like basically That's why he has such a strong connection with Rowan, and also why he owns like 50 pairs of gloves in his apartment. Like, there's like a kind of fun scene where like Alexandra Daddario is just opening like why do you have so many gloves? And he like tries to say something about like accessorizing and yeah, so like this whole like the Mayfair like Rowan's caught between the Mayfairs and then Cyprian's. I don't know. I always forget what his little like team is called or faction. I don't know. It's like very like I'm like looking at this. I'm like it's very like mid like urban fantasy like vibes
Right.
like. But there was some I gotta say there's some inventive visuals in this episode because um the Lasher, the shape-shifting guy played by Jack Houston, pulls a fire alarm and so like gets a Rowan out of the apartment, and she ends up in this like big funeral procession in New Orleans and ends up drinking some kind of concoction given to her by a character played by Jen Richards, and she just like trips out and like there's kind of a sexy thing with her and Lasher, and I don't know. It just yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know. This show is just kind of mediocre, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Um like it's definitely got it. It's like definitely added some interesting atmosphere and visuals since they moved to New Orleans, but it's a lot of it is just like trying to like go around and like explaining stuff that happened in previous episodes, and then this episode also opened with a flashback to like Irish atheist wishes, and I don't know, like it's not great. Like I'm cool, like I don't know. I'm not super into it.
Right. Right. I get that. Uh,
Yeah, and like I mean the pacing is like there's nothing wrong with like slow pacing. Like Interview with a Vampire had slower pacing, but I feel like this show like I feel like it could have leaned more into just like being just really drama and like soapy, and
right. Yes.
but it's like oh, I'm a prestige show. I need to like take my time and like oh, oh, I think I glitched out for a second.
Yep.
But yeah, that's Mayfair Witches. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's take this to a more positive note, I think, and move on to
Oh hell yeah.
The Last of Us, Season 1, Episode
Oh
2,
hell yeah.
Infected. Um, so I think the first thing I would say here is that Anna Torv is so fucking good. I just want to say that off the bat because like I saw some people talking about like, oh, I didn't know Anna Torv was this good just from like Fringe, and like Anna Torv was great on Fringe. And secondly, did you not watch Mindhunter? Was I the only one that watched Mindhunter? That can't be true because she was great on that show too. But yeah, like she's just incredible this entire episode. Like she's kind of carrying it between like the scenes between like her and Bella Ramsey throughout this, where like she's being like, and not surrogate mom figure, but like, hey, we're like I'm gonna show you some shit, you know, like I'm gonna teach you some stuff right now.
Yeah, I love this scene. I love it when she's like, "I'm gonna talk to you like an adult." Like that was such a great like moment.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she knows how to deal with the brattiness.
Yes, yes. Or even just like her explaining like how like the mushrooms work now.
Yeah.
How like it's like where they are and like how they're moving under the ground and how interconnected all that is, and just like it feels very much like an adult being like, I'm going to now teach you some stuff. Buckle in.
Yeah.
You know? Which is a great contrast to like Pedro Pascal's kind of energy throughout the episode, which is very I'm not getting involved here.
Yeah. He's just like he's totally just like spent and broken, and just the only time you see him any energy is when he's like going all like I'm like, yeah, this is definitely based on a video game. Like he's just in a good way. Like I'm just like, this is so cool. Like it just like translate that experience to another medium.
Mm-hmm.
Like the action scenes are so good in this episode, and so like claustrophobic, and like that's like that space. I think that old museum is such a great space for like a tense like action sequence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the design for the clickers is so unsettling and creepy.
Oh man. Yeah, like,
they terrify me.
Oh yeah, I'm like, I know, because I like came in. I never played the game, so I like came in as like expecting some kind of like generic ass zombie shit, and I'm like, shit, that's like a really good monster design.
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh my, like, and just the scene, like when Anna Torv's character is just getting like the kiss. I'm just, oh shit, like,
oh my god.
Yeah, and I love that the like the cold open does such a good like job of like just adding to just how unsettling these creatures are. I mean, the whole thing like, oh, there's no cure is kind of just okay, yeah, we get it, whatever. But like just having that scientist just come like face to face with like some of the first victims in Indonesia, I'm just like, shit, like,
yeah, and just like the tendrils
sets you up for the
tendrils coming out of the body's like mouth and through like its
that was
fingers.
So disgusting. Oh my god, like that. I'm like I can't watch this show like with dinner anymore. like it's so disgusting.
Yeah, it's a deeply unsettling show.
Yeah, but I feel like when like Bella Ramsey, just her comedic timing is so good. Like the gallows humor.
Yes.
It's so good. Like she just like nails like someone who has only lived during like a total just apocalypse. And just I love how like her description of how she got bitten. Like basically she just got bored and explored, which is something you sadly can't do like in this kind of world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of it. I don't know. I might be reading into things too much, but like it honestly feels like a metaphor for like, I don't know, like Gen Z and probably even younger than Gen Z, like these kids that like were coming of age during like the pandemic and didn't get to have a lot of like big like experiences and are trying to like make sense of the world now, and it's a hellscape, and like I don't know, like I know the game came out in 2013, but I'm just like it just hits with like so much of a relevance now.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is why I think that's why it's like finding such like, I read that episode 2 had had more viewers than episode 1, which is like rarely happens with TV.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it was like a big jump. I'm like, shit, like, so yeah, I think it's like HBO's new hit.
Yeah. Well, the thing with The Last of Us was it was in a tricky position of having to justify its existence outside of just like a video game, to being like, why do we need this outside of when like both The Walking Dead and Station 11 came out?
Yeah.
Where like Station 11 did this, like it perfected whatever like Last of Us could do, and Walking Dead did like the horror like TV landscape forever. So immediately The Last of Us has to like say like, no, this is why like we're a show that like should exist. This is like what we have to add to the medium, and like this episode makes an excellent case for that. Of like, yeah, this is why we should exist. This is how we can like do our shit. Like just the museum sequence alone is like, yeah, this is this is what we have to offer. Which is a very impressive showcase. But also, I heard like some of like the changes that they made for this episode versus like the game. Whereas in the game, they're being chased by the military, leaving Boston, and in this, they are being chased by the spores and the zombies and like the actual like infestation, which I think is a lot more terrifying. You know?
Yeah, and we already had like military stuff in the first episode.
Yes.
So I mean, yeah, because like I feel like the first episode. I mean, I was still like I like the pilot, but I'm still like, oh, like they're just gonna be like kind of vaguely gross zombie mushroom things. I wasn't expecting like total like just monsters.
Yeah, like Silent Hill monstrosities.
Yeah, no, I'm just like shit. Those designs are amazing. Like, so that was well done and made me more interested in the show.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and just that final sequence of Anator blowing the what were they? That was like a community center or like a library or something.
It was like I think it was like a museum.
Was it another museum?
No, I think it. I don't know. Like the thing about these locations is like they're like there's like like the old world but it's like barely even recognizable, which isn't that like just perfect apocalypse. Like there's some like signified.
Yeah, it does that. It does that like old world thing. Like I saw this a lot in like the 100 of like here we have the ruins of our city and like parts of these buildings have been like destroyed or blown out, and like sometimes it's just like part of the like the pastiche of like shorthand for just being like shit's fucked. But here like it's actually like no, we tried to bomb the cities and it kind of worked, kind of didn't.
Because I'm like, well, they actually listen to the scientists, like, and these kind of stories, like, they never listen to the science, but they actually listen to scientists and like bomb the cities, which is kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
but it's like, what else can you do in this kind of situation?
Yeah, you don't have a lot of options at that point. Like once, like they show that really effectively in like the cold open of like, well, we lost 14 of them. Was like, well, we're done. That's it. Like
she's like there's no way stopping it. Like
there's no coming back from that.
And I love that they don't even know who like patient zero it. Like they don't even like.
Yeah, I feel like that's the best way to do something like this because like I feel like that's like the thing that like The Walking Dead did well of like this happened, we don't know why it happened, and we're not gonna try to figure out like what happened. It's just like this is a thing that we're living with now. So like I think that's like the most effective way to like have a zombie outbreak or like an apocalypse or something. It's just like
right, and it's also like I mean it's like realistic too. Like we don't know the first person to get COVID.
No.
Like
yeah.
Like that's I mean because like Indonesia, like I mean Jakarta, it's like a very populated area. Like you're not gonna know. I mean yeah. So but yeah, I hope they keep doing these cold opens because they like do a really good kind of they add context to the world without like slowing the momentum down, and also gives a chance for like them to bring in like other like talented actors to kind of show the effect of apocalypse. I mean, I still like that first. I mean, I feel like you can't top the first episode's one, but
right. Yeah.
Because I still think about that. I'm like, oh god, like just like the more they talk, I'm like, oh my god, like they can live in us and
No, I don't like it. But no, that the final sequence of Anator blowing that place is just so effective, and like the slow terror of the zombie walking towards her with like the tendrils out. It's like, ugh. Oh,
Yeah, the kiss,
gross.
kiss of death. Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah, like gotta make it like a like slightly like sexual to make it even like crazier. Like just oh my god. Yeah.
oh, oh. I did like the foreshadowing they did though for kind of showing that like the kind of hive effect of the zombies, or like if one of them knows, like all of them will know.
Yeah.
And then just like executing that, and like it's definitely a Chekhov's gun where like, okay, this is definitely going to like come up in the episode, and like when it does, it's just like chef's kiss, you know? Because like you instantly understand like once it happens. Like,
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. We're about to get our shit rocked.
I mean, at least they're blind.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that's just like some of the zombies though. Because like some of them are clickers, and then others are like traditional zombies.
Yeah, I guess like the newer ones, like the new batch.
Yeah.
And then I feel like yeah, like as they get older, they like just get more corrupted and
Mm-hmm.
because they're like, oh, like this seems like a safe place, like there's just a few of them in here, but then it's just like this old like malingering evil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No. So I think Neil Druckerman, who's the co-writer of this and wrote the video game, said that the second season will cover like part 2. So like it's looking like this season will just be the first game, and then the second season will be the second game. So I don't know how. I guess there's not gonna be more than 3 seasons of the show, because you could probably divvy up like the second game into like 2 seasons. But
Yeah, I mean yeah.
yeah,
And like yeah, limited seasons, like they can just go balls out with the budget, make everything look good.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And from where we're starting right now, like the second season's gonna be some wild shit.
yeah, I don't.
And from what I've heard,
I'm like, yeah, no, like part of me is like this is a cool world, like, but I'm like, I mean, I still have an Xbox 360, so like, shit, I kind of want to play the games, but I think I'm gonna wait till the season's over to play the game. I don't want to like
mm-hmm.
cross pollinate too much,
Right?
or I could just, I don't know, just camp out in this fucked up little universe.
Right.
Yeah, just Bella Ramsey, just sassy energy, just like keeps me going.
Oh, it's so good.
Like I feel like this would just be such a dour, like, just I don't know, like snore of a show, but like she just brings so much just like bratty, manic like energy and just kind of deep sadness as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like that casting was just spot on.
Yeah, yeah.
Like just like it's like the show is like becoming a real showcase for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And I love the just like the kind of like you said, kind of sassy energy where um, Tess asks her if she has a like parents or boyfriend. She's like, nope, orphan, and no.
Yeah, like the fuck, like how do you like date? Like where do you go on a date? Like the local rock, like the local like zombie like hideout. Like it's like not even a priority.
No, no. Um,
I love her just keeping asking for a gun. That's just
yeah, no, she's just incredible. The whole episode. Um, Which I should also say isn't to say that like Pedro Pascal is not also amazing this entire episode.
Yeah, I mean, but like they just balance each other out like really well.
Yeah.
Because like I mean, he's just completely worn down, cynical. Like the pilot, I like the pilot. Like the pilot, like hyper focused on him, and just how basically he just like has closed down and just focuses on like just making money, getting by.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I really liked is that the show, with like his relationship with Tess, never needed to like spell out what their dynamic was for us to like perfectly understand it. And then like one of her final lines to Joel being like, you didn't love me the way I loved you, and like I was okay with that. It's like, yeah, we perfectly understood that, like
for sure.
It's one of those things like until they actually said it, you didn't realize like how much you actually understood, like that was the dynamic, and so like for the show to just perfectly broad stroke that up to that point was really effective.
Yeah, definitely. Like they didn't have to spell it out.
Yeah. So I think that's it.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to watch the show every week, discuss it, see more crazy shit, more new locations. Like,
so that's it for this week. Next week we're going to be talking about Lockwood and Co.
Fuck yeah, I can't wait. They're already selling merch from it.
From Netflix and a couple other stuff. It's in the works. But until then, you can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at NotAnotherTVPod. And you can follow me on Twitter at TheDrewKoenig and on TikTok at Drew_Koenig. Logan, where can we find you online?
You can find me at Twitter and Instagram at Midnighter Bay, BAE.
Nice. And you can find more of our episodes on Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and YouTube. And like and subscribe us there and share us on your social medias. You can email us at notanothertvpodcast@gmail.com with any listener questions, submissions, goat recommendations that you have. Until next week, we will see you all around.